do and how you do it, and I guess then sort of see what the synergies are between us, yourself, and sort of how we can sort of, I guess, create potentially an additional line of revenue for you, and sort of how we can support maybe your growth and that sort of good stuff. So
right now, I'm as a limited company. I
yes,
am a startup, I would say. I've got investment properties, which I was sourcing myself, but I was just telling the person that, sorry, I didn't get her name.
Faruz was her name.
Feroz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just telling Feroz that now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, it's easier to have deals sourced for you and just invest. But then also, I feel I need help with raising capital, and that's what interested me in this call. Because Yasin, I think was the name, he said that you help people raise capital as well. So I'm keen to understand how does that work.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's completely fine. Well, yeah, so we sort of have two strands to our business really. But I guess our focus point is the property sector. So that's something to mention straight away, is we're not a generalist marketing agency that looks after different sectors. Literally everything we do is property centric. Faruz has been in the property space for a number of years, and she started the business because I think she saw a gap and said, look, I think we can do some great work around marketing and helping people from both sides. So whether that's deal sourcing or people like yourself who are potentially looking for investors and raising capital. But I guess in terms of like investment and how we do that, let me pull this up and I'll share my screen with you. I think you can see something visual. It'll probably give you a bit more of an understanding. Bear with me 2 seconds. But the idea around sort of the raising investment or raising capital, we do it based on sort of organic. So the other side of our business is more sort of paid Meta ads and Google ads. This one is from a more of an organic perspective and utilizing LinkedIn.
Okay.
Do you do much on LinkedIn at the moment? Is it something you focused on, or?
No, not doing anything on LinkedIn.
No, that's really cool. Hey, that's good, right? It's a sort of a clean piece of paper for us to work from. So let me share my screen with you. Can you see my screen?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So what we do is we leverage, and I like the more organic route personally, and the reason why I think is because what it does is if you're with us for say 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever, however long, at the end of your sort of time working with us, as we have done previously with another couple of people who sort of look for investment for properties that they're working on or projects, what it does is it leaves you with a real nice solid network of people that you can tap into at any time.
And that's important.
Yeah, which is important, right? So if you all of a sudden in 6 months' time you stumble onto a project that you're doing, you need to raise capital, you're going to have a network of people that you can immediately go to, can contact, So I think it's nice, especially for, like I said, it sort of gives you a long-term piece. The paid ad side is great because it gives you immediate leads and stuff to chase, but for you, obviously, that's not probably going to be that applicable. So the way we do that is we do it through, I guess, what we call like a social media builder.
Okay.
So a lot of people try and go down the lines of emails, and I think we can all admit that when we get emails from people, unless we know what it's from or we're expecting it, we probably don't read it that much.
Yeah.
So I think the idea of sort of email marketing for this is tough, and also I think a lot of investors are hounded with different opportunities. They're not that bothered. So the way we do that is we utilize LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn obviously is a business network. People are there. It's easy for us to source the right people for you. So it's easy for us to use a filtering mechanism to find these people, and I guess engage them based upon sort of projects that you've worked on. And it sounds like you've got some pieces of work that you've done previously. So I think that's the most important thing. It's so what we do before we sort of launch any campaigns is we look at your LinkedIn profile and we sort of set the shop window, shall we say. So we sort of go through it. We make sure that you can put different sort of I guess views on there. You can put project examples that you've worked on. We change your tagline, so it's sort of like whatever it may be. The idea being is we do all these things to increase your chances of connecting with people.
Okay.
Yeah. And as I say, 80% profit invest research firms are on LinkedIn. So they always look on LinkedIn. They always want to know a bit about the person they're going to be working with, because ultimately they're handing over potentially quite large sums of money. So I guess they want to understand who you are. So we go into this period then with our social media strategy. So we do that firstly by personal branding. So like I said, we optimize your profile, keyword rich bio. So when you search on LinkedIn, for example, if you were looking for property investor in London, for example, what LinkedIn does is it goes through all of the profiles that are on LinkedIn and it picks out those key search terms. So the way you filter and the way you find people is by what is written on people's profiles. So what we do is
Right. That's interesting because I never knew that LinkedIn can be used for property investment as well.
yeah. So you can search for anything. You can search for financial planners in America, or you can search for property investors in Edinburgh, and it will literally rip out and use the phrases and key search words that you're using to then generate you a list of people. So and a lot of these people are on there because ultimately it's a business to business platform. So you like yourself, you're trying to with people. Another part of the personal branding piece is looking at sort of leadership posts. So what we do is we would say, right, let's look at, you know, your thought process, things that you do, projects you've worked on, projects that you've got ongoing, and we then start to put content out on your platform. The idea being is what it does is once you start connecting with people, if I was to like your post is then shown to all of my network as well. So
Yeah.
it goes beyond just the people that you connect with, but also notoriously, if you're posting good value add content, people get interested and they go, oh, you know, they go, oh, Farah knows what she's talking about. Oh, that's a really interesting thing from Farah. Or we've got the same problem as Farah. You know what I mean? It sort of just creates that ecosystem of people.
Yeah.
So once we've done that, then what we then do is we go into like a direct investor piece. So we tend to use LinkedIn direct messages. So what we would do is we would build out a list of people that we want to connect with. We would run them through like a messaging campaign. So we would do sort of, I guess, a 3-stage messaging campaign. One being a connection message. The first message being, you know, hey, it's great to have you connected, and sort of give a bit of info about yourself, potentially asking if they'd be interested to look at some of the projects that you're working on. And we effectively work through that. The idea being is that we, like I said, and that's what's nice, is if over, say, a 3-month period, you can send, how many connections do you have on LinkedIn? Do you know? Do you even have?
I don't remember ever counting or even knowing.
Okay, no, it's completely fine.
I'm really bad with social media,
No,
honestly.
don't apologize. The reason why I ask is, so depending on how new your LinkedIn profile is, depends how many connection requests you can send. So
Right.
if you've been on LinkedIn for quite a while, even if you've not been that active, you can send between 100 and 120 connections a week.
Okay.
Most people work on the basis, if it's hyper targeted, you're probably looking at about a 30 to 40% connection rate back. So that would mean that every week, providing we're going after the right people, you'd be looking at between 30 to 40 new connections a week. So you think, compound that over a period of 3 months. If we were going for 30, that would generate you probably another 360 connections. So that in itself is another 360 people over 3 months who are in the investment space who you could then engage with at any time. That's why I like the LinkedIn piece, because it gives you that thinking network. Then obviously on top of your profile being done and sort of the leadership posts and all that sort of good stuff, it all cumulates together.
Cool.
Yeah. And then it goes back to exactly what I said. So building trust, because I think that's the important thing, isn't it? You know, naturally, if people are parting with investment, they want to know the people that they're working with. So the idea being is, like I said, we connect you with the right people, we post the right things, we make your profile known. And then that way it sort of gives that idea and impression that you're obviously a trusted person within the space. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the idea is like I said, we connect you with people that are in sort of, I guess, credible. They're people that are visible. They're the right investors through targeted outreach. So effectively what we would say is, after we've done this call and, you know, if you were happy and we went ahead and all that sort of stuff, we would then get you to sit down with one of the guys in our team. We would then do like a strategy call. So we'd then dig a little bit deeper into the business, the types of investors that you'd want to go after, potential locations, and we go through like a big filtering mechanism. Then that way we can then build you a targeted list.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. This is really true. So investors don't just invest in companies; they invest in founders they trust, and I think that's true.
Yeah.
Naturally, I wouldn't do business with someone I don't trust. So that's the idea. So we basically, the idea being is that we do that through, like I said, value add content, connecting with the right people, building your shop window, like I said, your profile, so it looks credible, and we continually drive that.
Yeah.
And that's it really. Like that's a very brief overview. But I think for yourself, if you're looking to raise capital and you're looking for potential investors, that would be the way that we would go. And then, like
Right.
I said,
So these are the people who will be willing to invest as a partner with you. So they will say, okay, this company has got a project, and I would like to invest, obviously with some return. Um, is that what we are saying?
yeah. So basically, what the process would be is we would want to take control of your LinkedIn profile, right? We would then start
Mhm.
to connect you with investors. And then any opportunities that you then have, we would then message in the basic form. We would then run message campaigns to people in your network or potential investors, letting them know that you have an opportunity and would they be interested to chat with you. The idea then being,
Right. Okay. So
yeah,
let's say I have a deal,
yes,
and I don't have money myself to invest in it, and I want
yeah,
people to grab that. And then I
yes,
will obviously reach out to the account manager who's working with me, and then they will be able to sort of, I don't know, create a message or create something
yeah. We'll be able,
to reach out to potential investors.
yeah, for sure. Like we can work on sort of what the campaign structure looks like, and I guess if you've got any deals that you're currently working on or looking to close or looking to get investment for now, we would obviously use that as a process to go through. But yes, so the idea being is we would set up like connection campaigns. So obviously we're growing your network and we're posting thought-provoking content. If you then, for example, said, hey, I've got this project, it's based in London, I'm looking to raise X amount of capital, can we run a campaign for these for the people that I've been connected with? Yeah, that's completely fine. So what we do
Okay.
is, so the idea being is that we build your network and then obviously then look at potentially targeting people for certain, I guess, projects that you're working on, etc.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
like I
sounds
said,
interesting,
yeah,
actually.
like I said, the good thing about it is you get something at the end of it, and I'm a big believer in that with marketing, is that what's the end goal as well. So like we're
Yeah.
growing your profile, yeah, great, fantastic, and you at the moment you need to secure capital for projects that you've got and potentially maybe in the pipeline. But what happens in 12 months' time when you need to tap back into that? You need more capital, you need more investment. But say, for example, you aren't working with us anymore for whatever reason it may be. What have you got at the end of your investment with us? And that's the nice thing about the LinkedIn profile, the LinkedIn piece, is the fact that once you get those connections are in your LinkedIn forever. So at
Yeah.
any moment you can reach out to them and say, hey, I've got this project. But also at the same time, you have a bank of people that they might not be the right investor right now, but they might be the right investor in 3 months' time. So it's also good that you can then build out your personal connections around people that may be wanting to invest. So external to the LinkedIn profile as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we operate and how we do what we do. So
So do you think it's worth creating a separate profile? Because right now is the one that is for my related to my job,
okay,
my obviously my actual job. I'm the finance person, by the way.
okay,
Um,
yeah. So
but I don't know if it will be. Obviously, the name will be same. So I don't know
yeah.
how will that work.
Yeah, so you can't have two profiles with the same name, because I've had people who have tried to do that and both of their profiles get cancelled and deleted. LinkedIn are very
Oh, okay.
yeah. LinkedIn have really stepped up in the last couple of years. People that use automation, people that have duplicate profiles, they've really stepped up their game on sort of getting rid of people off the platform. Um,
Right.
so
Okay.
what's your current situation at the moment? You're employed and you've got your business as well?
Yeah. So for my business, I've literally recently started out. when
Okay.
I realized that it's best to be to have limited company.
Sure.
And obviously, I have taken this course that when they teach you about everything when you get into the property business. So now I feel, yeah, I just need to do
Yeah.
more to grow the business.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
like I said, I'm the startup. Um, do you think we can create a profile on the limited company name?
So you can create a business page on your
Yeah,
limited company. The only thing you don't have the ability to do is direct message people from the business page. So
right,
you can invite people to follow your business page, but they have to be your connections. So all of the messaging has to be done from your personal profile. Now, it's not
right.
unheard of for people to have, and I guess this would be, obviously, this is only a question that you're able to answer, not me, is I've had people previously who have been in the space and they have still run LinkedIn connection requests and all of that good stuff. But they've sort of had their profile as a bit of a dual thing. So I guess like they've had their normal 9 to 5, shall we say?
Yeah,
But they've also done this as a hobby. But they've also had that on their LinkedIn as well. It's just whether your employer would be happy with you doing that or not. That's the other thing. Some
yeah,
employers get funny about people having side projects. Some people are completely fine. I guess it just depends on where you and who you work for, in the nicest way possible.
yeah,
So that's the only thing to consider. But no, unfortunately, that's the way LinkedIn works. So all of your personal connections and all of the messaging will need to be done through your personal LinkedIn.
yeah,
It would still set you up a business page because it's good to have a business page if
yeah.
you haven't one already. But all of the messaging, etc., would need to come from your personal profile. Yeah.
Right, got you.
Yeah.
And we only do it on LinkedIn. We don't use any other social media platform.
No, so we would be doing it on LinkedIn, and the reason why is because we can go hyper targeted. And like I said, we've got people. What I'll do is I'll send you the link to the gentleman's profile that we have done and we run for a number of months. You'll see in that in itself how sort of beneficial it was, and you'll see the types of things that we do. Like his profile is geared up massively
Right.
towards the
Yeah.
property space. And he's doing exactly what you're doing. So he was looking for he wanted to build out his network of investors because he had a number of opportunities and projects that he was working on. So
Okay. Cool.
so yeah, so but what I can do is I can send you across a bit more information. Like I said, I can send you a link to that the gentleman's LinkedIn page. So let me message through while we're on this call and see if she can say it. Hang on. I'll get her to send it to me now, and then I can forward that to you. But I can send you
Yep.
some information. I can send you the slide deck, and I can send you also we've got a new client portfolio piece that we've done recently as well. So that shows some of the results we've got and some of the things that we've done.
Yeah, that will be good to see. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I guess just in terms of here we go. If I tell you what, I can share this with you now. Let me show you an example of what this gentleman's LinkedIn looks like. Bear with me. Let me put it onto another screen. Right, let me share my screen with you. Bear with me 2 seconds. What made you go into the property space, if you don't mind me asking?
I think I'm just too tired with my current job, and it doesn't give me flexibility.
You said you work in finance, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's all about deadlines and
yeah, I bet
very corporate culture. And yeah, it's very.
for sure. Can you see my screen?
I can. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mukesh, so we started him actually he had zero connections when we started. So his profile was completely brand new. It took a while to get him to this level, purely because when you first start a LinkedIn profile, it takes. But when you first have a LinkedIn page, LinkedIn are so strict on being able to connect with so many people at once.
Right.
So that's why I asked you if you've been on LinkedIn for a little while, it's definitely very beneficial. So as you can see, we sort of changed the cover image. That's a property that he's worked on previously. Now this is where people, so this about section,
Yeah.
tagline here underneath his name, as well as this about page or this about section here. This is where LinkedIn will pull some of the search criteria from. So where here, for example, if he was put in if people would put in sustainable developments in London, he would come up. If someone was to put in residential and commercial projects across London, he would come up. So this is why it's really important that we get this bit done first, because there will be people potentially reach out to him. But at the same time, when people connect with you, what you want to do is, if people read this, you want them to give you a bit of an understanding who you are and how you do what you do. Really cool. Then in here you can see his activity. So he's not posted on here for a few months because we recently stopped working with him. But what we did is a lot of video content, so showing some of the projects that he'd done, some of the posts that he'd put up, just talking about different projects he's worked on, stuff he's done. Bearing in mind he had 0 people when we first started. His engagement is really, really strong, which is good. And I think that's driven by the fact that we've added him like a very good quality network. And then underneath here, you can add, this is a new thing for LinkedIn, is where you can add like specific projects and stuff that you've worked on. So here, when people scroll through his LinkedIn, they go, oh, okay, this is a bit about him. This is his experience. Oh, projects. Okay, what's he worked on? They can click here and then they can see sort of media based upon some of the work that he's done, projects that he's worked on, redevelopments. So it's just a really good way to show.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? You can see everything.
Yeah, it's really credible. So at least if you're an investor, you click on here and you're like, oh, okay, so he's done this project and this project and this one, and it gives a bit of an overview to him. It's just a way to be that trusted source, you know. So yeah, so that's just an example of a profile we did for him. We also built his LinkedIn business page as well.
Right, so this is how the business page will look like.
Yeah, this is how the business
connected
page
to your personal profile.
Yeah, connected to your personal profile, so people can see that it's legit. They can see that it's a true page. You can post on there. You can. The idea being is that what you would do is you would set it up so that when people connect with you, you invite them straight away to like your business page.
Yeah.
That's just a good way to drive traffic to there as well. So it gives you sort of 2 outlets to be able to. And I think when I look for companies, like I worked in recruitment for 8 years before I did this. If a person didn't have like a legitimate company linked to their name, I'd be like, okay, well, who do you work for? How does that work? Because I would use this as a reference point to obviously check that they're a legitimate person and all that sort of stuff. So
absolutely.
So we did his business page as well for him and whatnot. So, but yeah, that's just like a bit of a taster. I'll send you a link to it anyway, so you can have a
perfect. And in terms of your pricing, how does that look like?
Yeah, so the pricing structure, it's on a monthly retainer basis. So we charge £2,000 a month for our pricing. The reason why and what you get for that. So obviously we do all of the content creation, all the posting. We obviously build your shop window. We put together all of the campaigns, like I said, in terms of, and all the different people that we're going to connect to. We run all the filtering. But one thing we're really driven on is data, and data from the perspective of, okay, let's run a campaign for a few weeks. Is it working? Is it not? If it's not working, what can we change? If it is working, fantastic, let's keep moving with it. But what tweaks can we still make to maybe enhance it? So actually, where your campaigns start at the beginning to where they finish probably transition quite a lot, because we're actually making real-time updates and changes as we go. Always that includes your business profile sort of creation and sort of helping with any content that we need. So yeah, it's more of like a management fee, but there is a lot that goes into it. I can send you some more information to what that looks like as well.
Yeah, that will be helpful.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I think there's some good work we can do. And like I said, with Mukesh, we took his profile from 0 to where it is now. So I think, I think he would.
Yeah, no, that is a good idea.
Yeah,
like I said, I didn't even know that for LinkedIn you can do so much stuff.
There is, honestly, there is so much you can do with the platform. Like I said, it's becoming a bit more, they're trying to monetize the platform a lot more now. But there are still some really amazing things that you can do from an organic side of things without having to pay for their paid platforms. We're obviously very mindful and conscious of the, like LinkedIn changed their limits, the amount of people they can connect with and the amount of messages you can send and all that. We're very much in tune with that as well, because obviously what we don't want to do is we don't want our clients' profiles to be blocked or anything negative to happen after all the hard work we've put in and obviously your investment. So we're always with that. So if things change and we notice changes happening, then we always let our clients know, just so then you can see that. But we do reporting as well, so you can see the amount of connections that are going out. But the really nice thing about LinkedIn, and the thing that I found, I had someone run my LinkedIn a few years ago when I was in recruitment. As you wake up in the morning and you check LinkedIn, as you naturally do, and you've got more connections, or people have messaged you back, or it's really like it's quite an interesting thing to see it. So
Brilliant.
I'm confident there's a lot of good work we can do. But I'll send you
Cool. Yeah, if you send me all this information, and then obviously I can have some time to think about, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, for sure. And then if we can book a second call to, I guess, follow up and sort of chat and whatnot. And as I always say to people, if it's not right now, but it's something for the future, it's always good that we make the connection and have the conversation anyhow. So
yeah, brilliant. All right, thanks very much. Are you Jamie? I think I just wanted to confirm before I say.
No, it's fine. And look, apologies for my lateness. I got the time.
No problem at all. You're good. All right, thanks very much, Jamie.
Amazing. Cheers,
Have a
Farah.
good day. Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.